Where's baby girl? Here, my next here.
It's okay, it's okay to see here the
There's the
stairway of the pyramid of Kukulkan. Okay, first you see the biggest steps. Okay, 9 of them. We got nice decoration also with the panels, 26 panels on that side, and then the other 26 by the right. That makes 52 the famous cycle of life. Señores, the main stairway is the only one decorated. You see the snake heads at the base of the stairway. What can we see on that pyramid on March 21st? March 21st, 5 p.m. in the afternoon, more or less at 4:30, more or less in the afternoon. The sun is gonna be on that point of the horizon, and then the sunlight will form in that on that stairway, and a snake that is coming down from the top of that pyramid to the base of the stairway, where you see the head of that snake. It's
That's
the
cool.
most beautiful equinox that we can see in the Yucatan Peninsula. There is a nice city called Tulum, the only one facing the ocean. There is a temple there called the Temple of the Descending God, where we can see there a small window on the back of the building. The sunlight pass through the window and shows the change of season. But this one is the most spectacular one because the sun formed a snake on that stairway coming down from the top to the base where you see the head of that stair. Okay, let's go. Vamos, let's see the Temple of the Water. That one back there. Let's get closer to 2019.
Huh.
How cool is this?
I didn't notice that.
It's cool. I know Zach doesn't like any of this crap. He thinks pyramids suck. Get the snake head.
Of the stairway, of the main stairway of the pyramid. Remember 91 steps, each one. Okay, you see that archaeologists, they couldn't find all of the original stones for the reconstruction of that one. What happened? What happened with these stones? You have an idea what happened with the stones?
Washed away.
Señores, the Spaniards, the Spaniards, remember the Spaniards, they destroyed these buildings, temples. They took the stones for the construction of the Catholic Church. Yes, that's right. That's why they couldn't find all of the stones for the reconstruction. Also, thanks to the Spaniards, we know that Mayans first built, at that time, artificial platforms. The platforms were square or rectangular, and on top of them, Mayans built a temple or a palace for a nobility family. or a pyramid. Look how big is this one. So how big were those artificial platforms? They were big too,
Yeah.
giant ones. Maybe you you didn't realize, but we are walking on top of one of them. This is not the original level of the city. Look what they found. The last excavations and restorations were made in the city. Look, down there is the original level of the city. And you see that is a stairway to get to the top of this artificial platform we are walking now. See, they blew it up. No, that's fine. They made the restoration here. But why these guys were digging on this area? Because there are night shows here in the city. In the nights, with lights, and sound. They were digging here to put more lights, for the show, and that's what they found, the stairway to get here. So we are now on the top of this artificial platform. That building that you see right there is the famous Temple of the Warriors. 10th century after Christ, Mayans were invaded by another Mexican tribe, the Toltecs. They came here, they conquered the Mayans people, they mixed it with them, and they built this new city, New Chichen Itza. Okay? They stayed here for 3 centuries. Okay, and around the 13th century is when they abandoned, the city for the last time. Now, that one over there was built on the top of an artificial platform. What is interesting is those columns in front of the Temple of the Warriors, those square columns in front are showing Toltec warriors, Those guys are very well dressed for war. They are holding their weapons, holding, shields, some of them, and wearing beautiful helmets, Yeah, nice decoration of those colors. We're gonna see that decoration in a moment. About the building, it's in good condition also. Look, it's beautiful. The main stairway in the center. On the top, there is a temple, but it's in good condition today. We see the square columns right there in shape of snakes. But all of those square columns were supported the wooden beams in which the roof was resting on the top. Look in the center of the stairway. That figure, that reclining figure, you see it from here? It's called Chacmol figure, remember? Those figures are holding plates on the stomach. It's where they put the human hearts after they sacrifice their enemies. Okay? Now, they found altars in there where they put idols, offerings for these important gods. 22 gods for the Mayans people, remember? 22 gods and only one goddess. Goddess of the moon, medicine, and fertility, Ixchel. Okay? Inside that building, there is a nice painting showing the everyday Mayan life. We see on that painting Mayans building pyramids, Mayans trading with other Mexican tribes. We see Mayans, farming, different activities, on that painting, which is inside. But today we cannot go inside to see that one. You see the columns on the right side? You see them, all of them? There is a big area there. There are more than 1,000 columns on that side. It's a big market, They trade with other Mayans and other Mexican tribes. Okay, here in the Yucatan, here especially in this place in the Chichen Itza, we have paintings, that show Mayans trading with other cultures. You know that, for example, the Mayans they have contact with Incas. Incas in South America. Here in the paintings we see those big animals with long heads. How do we call those animals? Llamas, right? Llamas. Only in Peru, Incas, So this is proving that they have in contact, by trade. Okay? Let's get closer to see the colors, to see that beautiful decoration, the Toltec warriors. Let's see. The snake, well, for the Mayans, the snake was considered sacred because was representing the fertility of the land. It was for agriculture. Let's go, vamos. Let's see the colors. Let's see the colors right there. It's beautiful, the decoration that we're gonna see. Those ones by the right, no decoration. Only on those ones. No fui sincero. Vamos a ver qué cuentan los tíos en sus camionetas. Para estar en progresito, si no, esos chavos se rayan allá. Ah, por eso. Pero eso, como dijo ese güey, que necesitamos una asamblea, hay que pedirlo. Okay, look, señores, you see, this is the temple, the famous temple of the warriors. Main stairway right there, and on the top you see the temple in good condition, the square columns in shape of the snakes. The decoration also on the walls of that temple on top are showing that important god also for this culture called Chak, that was the rain god. On the corners, you see the mask of the god. That what you see, those things like a hook, like a hook, is the nose, is the nose of that important god. Okay, and look now the columns. Look the decoration on those columns. You see, it's beautiful, very well preserved, and they are showing Toltec warriors, very well dressed, as you see, to war, holding their weapons, bow and arrows. In the case of these guys, they use like shields, shields and helmets on their heads, Yeah, they were warrior people, okay? It was so easy, so easy for the Toltec conquer the Mayans here on the area and mix it with them. That building on the left side is called the house of the high priest. It's been destroyed also by the time. The temple on top is totally destroyed. The stairway, the main one, is that one over there, facing west. When the excavations were made in 1916, the first one, they found in there a tomb for that guy. The skeleton was very well preserved. Important offerings they found in the tomb, made of gold and silver. But what they like more, they found a small fish made of jade, and it's the most important offering that they found inside the tomb. And now the fish made of jade is in a museum here in the Yucatan Peninsula. Let's see the first platforms. The first platforms here in the city, on that side. Let's see them. Okay, here on this area. These platforms were for different purposes. Okay, muy bien. And this is one of the most important ones. This is huge, as you see. And it's a square, very high, and with stairways facing the cardinal points too. Look the decoration on those stairways. You see the representation of Kukulkan, the snake god. Those are the heads of the snakes, representing that important god for this culture. It's the most important decoration of that stone tablet. Señores, on the walls of the platform, you see also the representation of one of the most important gods for them, called Itzamna. Itzamna is the supreme god for this culture. You see the face of the god on the wall. Look at the face of that important god on the wall. You see? Yeah. On the top, it was decorated also with the snakes, but they couldn't find all of the stones for the reconstruction of the platform. On the corners, on the
Is yours
walls,
dead or is it just not plugged in all the way? Because mine came unplugged a little bit.
Planets, Look at the stars, the corners, the representation of the planets. Go, let's go to see other platforms. Okay.
Stand right here.
Did you get them?
Yeah.
Thanks.
$1, 20 pesos.
You believe that?
$1.
Almost.
$1.